Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm back with another video. As you can tell, this is a little different than what I've done on my channel thus far. I typically only do makeup looks on myself, but I wanted to do makeup on someone else to give me more exposure to different eye shapes and working with angles, since everything is pretty much opposite when you're working on a client. So my beautiful friend Rachel agreed to be my client for the day. So I'm starting with the P. Louise base in the shade 2. I'm using a lighter shade because it's much closer to her skin tone. So I'm just patting that all over her lid, and then once I get it to the opacity that I want, I'm going to blend out the edges with the Morphe E30. I'm also going to tap the brush over her lid to ensure everything is smooth and that there's no creasing before applying shadow. Alright, so for my first shade, I'm using the Be Perfect Cosmetics Carnival XL Pro Palette in collaboration with Stacey Marie. That is definitely a mouthful, but it is for sure worth it. I'm going in with the shade Mood, and I'm taking this on a Morphe M506. I'm going to buff this into her crease. This palette is amazing and it's extremely pivoted. I absolutely love it. Definitely a must-have for your collection if you don't have it already. And then once I get it basically laid down how I want, I'm just going to go around the edges and buff those out a little bit. It kind of just makes it easier when I put my second transition shade so everything blends seamlessly together. Okay, so now using the shade Hype from the same palette and going in with the clean M506, I'm going to blend out that deep blue using a pretty light hand for this step and just going around the edges of that blue shade just to blend that out until I get the blend that I'm looking for. For my last transition shade, I'm taking the color Ecstasy, which is this beautiful lime green shade, and I'm gonna apply this to the outer edge and a little bit towards her brow bone and a little bit into her brow hairs, just so I can fully flick it out and buff it into her skin. But do y'all see this pigmentation? It is gorgeous. Like I said, if you don't have this in your collection already, you should definitely get it. Okay, so once I got all the colors down, I just went back into each shade and intensified it before I cut the crease. I cut the crease with a flat brush from P. Louise and the P. Louise Blank Canvas Paint. I really like using this to cut the crease because it has a very thick formula and it makes it much easier to cut the crease since it won't slide everywhere or transfer above my cut crease because it's not super liquidy, so it gives me a lot of extra control. I'm just really taking my time cutting the crease to get it as crisp as I can. Okay, so I applied some beautiful neon glitter in that blank space. This glitter is by Flutter by Ro. I got a lot of her glitters and I absolutely love them. This one is in this color Sweet Frog. It's a beautiful glitter, but it does make a mess, so I advise having some makeup wipes on hand and paper towels and packing a lot of powder under the eyes if you did do your base first, although I personally don't recommend doing your base first. So I went ahead and finished her eyes off camera with some mascara and lashes. I've already prepped her skin with a primer. I used the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, which is great at gripping makeup It also has hyaluronic acid, which is great at keeping the skin soothed and hydrated. After I prepped the skin, I went in with the Boink Concealer by Benefit, and I just concealed some of her redness before applying foundation. For foundation, I originally applied the foundation with a foundation brush at first for sanitation purposes, but my brush just wasn't applying the foundation the way I needed to. It's a pretty old brush. I just really need to throw it away. So I just washed my hands so I could just use my fingers. We're really good friends, and she said that was fine, but this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade Ecru, and I'm blending that out with a sponge. Once all that foundation was blended out, I highlighted her face with the e.l.f. concealer and blended that out with that same sponge. I just highlighted in the typical areas for highlight, which are underneath the eyes, the bridge of the nose, and the chin area. After I blended out all the highlighted areas, I'm setting underneath her eyes with the Laura Mercier Under Eye Setting Powder, and then adding the NARS blush to her cheeks. To finish off the eyes, I just added the shades Mood and Hype to her bottom lash line, and then added some mascara. I then highlighted the tops of her cheekbones and down the bridge of her nose before adding some lipstick, and then finish off the rest of the makeup with the Beauty Bakery setting spray to lock everything in. And then this is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed me doing this eye makeup and getting some perspective on client makeup. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.